The movie begins with a helicopter crashing in the Kenyan region, and people are running frantically while soldiers provide cover. Some soldiers are taken out and suddenly an explosion occurs. The scene then cuts to soldier Bo, who is detained at a police station in Kenya. When Bo touches a wire, he gets shocked, causing the light bulbs in the area to start breaking. Bo grabs a bowl and wipes off the mud to see his reflection. He then takes an object to pry open the wall of the cell. As soon as he succeeds, he sees a plane crashing and a scene of devastation. Bo begins to scream, and a French doctor named Nadia, who is nearby, tells him to be quiet, or they both might die. He is informed that they are in a police station located a few hours from Nairobi. At that moment, the lights start to flicker and a small tremor occurs. Nadia tells him that they are getting closer, but Bo doesn't remember what happened and says he won't stay there to die. He tries to call for help again, but Nadia tells him to stop acting like that. As she sits on the floor, Nadia picks up a piece of glass. When the Kenyan soldiers arrive, bringing a hostage, they coldly execute him right there. One of the soldiers asks Nadia who she works for, and she pretends not to understand their language. Bo then translates for Nadia. At this moment, the soldier realizes that Bo is American and wants to keep him alive. The soldier opens the cell and Bo attacks one of the soldiers. He takes down several more soldiers. Meanwhile, some soldiers move towards Nadia. She spits on one of them and, after being thrown to the ground, attacks him with a piece of glass. Acting quickly, she grabs a gun and shoots another soldier. Outside, Bo manages to eliminate 2 more soldiers. After that, he sees a giant robot approaching but manages to run and hide inside a car. Meanwhile, the fight between Nadia and the soldier continues, showcasing her combat skills despite being a doctor. The soldier manages to pin her against the wall, but she overpowers him and finishes him off. When Nadia turns around, she is surprised to find that Bo returned because of her. Bo's new objective is to find and keep Nadia safe. He also tells her that outside he saw bombings, trucks, and men fighting. As they leave, Nadia spots an American base and tells Bo that he won't be able to reach it because there are robots hunting everyone. After observing, Bo decides to move forward, and Nadia follows, though she is demotivated to keep going. Bo insists that she help him find and save the people at the American base, as that is their mission. They are lucky to find a car that is operational, but they still need to put on the tires. Nadia manages to find a bottle of water, and while she is doing that, Bo washes his face and experiences some flashbacks of the combat moments. After the two are on the road, Bo compliments the way Nadia was handling the weapon. She then reveals that she was a French army doctor and that she had to use weapons a few times. Suddenly, the car is shot at. Bo tells Nadia to get out of the car with her hands up, as they are at a disadvantage. Since Nadia understands the language, she tells the Kenyan soldiers that their mission is to take her to the border. Since it's an order from the American Navy, but the soldier says there's no such order and that they need water, Nadia tries to negotiate by sharing water with them. However, one of the soldiers tells them to raise their hands and becomes agitated upon seeing a radar tattoo on Bo's arm. When he hears that he might be shot, Bo reacts to the approach, taking down several soldiers, leaving only the leader and a young soldier. Since Bo's memory isn't clear, he wants to know the meaning of the tattoo. Then the soldier explains that the tattoo represents the symbol of the American radio station. Bo also learns that they were attacked because the Kenyan soldiers believe that the Americans are responsible for creating those robots. Suddenly, the other soldier charges at Bo, but he manages to neutralize the young soldier. Bo and Nadia then escape with the soldier's jeep, heading towards the border. Nadia is impressed with Bo's skills in defeating the soldiers and then comments on whether the Kenyans might be right about the Americans being responsible for the robots. After stopping the car, they notice some high-voltage wires and suddenly, a robot attacks them. As they flee, they abandon the car and hide behind some rocks. Afterward, they see a father and daughter trying to hide from a robot. But it isn't enough, and the robot eliminates the father and daughter, despite Bo and Nadia's attempts to create a distraction. As night falls, Nadia tells Bo that she lost family members when Paris was in conflict, and Bo admits that he is completely alone. Combat jets fly overhead, indicating that there are people fighting out there and that the battle is not lost. The next day, Bo and Nadia survey the area before moving forward. When they reach a new area, they find a radio broadcasting news about explosions happening in downtown Nairobi. Then, armed men appear and manage to capture Bo and Nadia. The two are then chained to a car. At that moment, one of the men warns that something is coming. They then leave to hide, and 2 more men arrive on a motorcycle. They are using Bo and Nadia as bait to attract the robots. One of the men then activates the explosive and fires at the robot. However, the robot manages to take down some of them before the men succeed in destroying it. But it isn't enough, as another robot arrives and takes down more of them. Bo and Nadia manage to free themselves and hide, lucky enough not to be seen. As the other robot is chasing more men, Bo and Nadia cross a bridge. Bo notices someone aiming at them from below and tells the person to drop the weapon. However, Bo was mistaken, as the person down there is a wounded photographer who is only trying to capture some photos. Nadia introduces herself as a doctor to help the man, but he says she arrived too late. He reveals that he made a promise to keep taking photos until either his camera battery dies or he does. He then shows some of his captures, including young soldiers and the ship that deployed the robots. Hearing an explosion, the three of them leave and hide in a warehouse. When the photographer sees Bo's tattoo, he mentions that he came from the radio station route and also took some photos. The photographer then asks Bo to end his life as he won't survive, and says that Nadia won't do it because she took an oath as a doctor. Bo refuses to shoot him, but the photographer continues to insist. When Bo is about to act, he has flashbacks of a battle companion who made the same request, which causes him to pull away. Nadia then takes action and decides to end the man's suffering herself, leaving Bo surprised by her decision. They leave the photographer behind and quickly escape toward the border. After walking for a few hours, they stop to rest briefly and then continue on. Bo mentions that this was the path the photographer had taken. Nadia then informs him that the camera's battery has died, which was their only way to find the antenna where the American radio station is located. Bo manages to open the door with a weapon and is excited to find a hidden car inside. Without wasting any time, Bo and Nadia decide to use the car to reach their destination more quickly. While driving, they try to tune the radio to catch the latest news and better understand what's happening around them, but they can't pick up any signal. Suddenly, they stop the car on the road and find a destroyed robot. Nadia shares that, at the beginning of the invasion, rumors spread quickly among people. They started talking about the presence of drones flying around without any human pilots and robots programmed to eliminate anyone they encountered. In light of this situation, Bo comments that he believes these robots must have some sort of weak point that can be exploited. Hearing the sounds of explosions, Bo and Nadia quickly get into the car and accelerate. As they drive fast, they look back and see many robots closing in, firing repeatedly. This forces Bo and Nadia to abandon the car and seek shelter in a nearby house. Meanwhile, the robots keep advancing, causing the house to start shaking. The two then embrace, and as a romantic atmosphere develops between them, the house is lifted into the air, and Nadia is taken along with it. Bo wakes up with injuries to his leg, wraps a cloth around it, and, despite his wounds, continues walking through the scene of devastation. He eventually finds the radio station. After that, he finds the word "resist" written on a wall with an arrow. Following it, he reaches the city, and as he sits down to rest, Bo sees people fleeing from a robot. One of the robots approaches Bo, but nothing happens to him. Bo then has another flashback of combat, where one of his injured companions was asking Bo to end his suffering. The scene then cuts to Bo lying on a stretcher inside a rehabilitation and care center. Kara and Juma appear, saying they found Bo and brought him to safety. They also mention that, for now, he is in a secure place. Bo informs them about Nadia's disappearance and believes he will find her, but Juma says it's not possible because she is gone and won't return. Juma and Kara then take Bo to meet Roderick, a weapons engineer. Roderick has created a weapon with an electromagnetic pulse capable of damaging robots and spacecraft. Kara tells Roderick that they captured Bo's friend but did not capture him. Bo then approaches some drawings on the wall. Meanwhile, a person informs Roderick that many drones are invading the city. At that moment, Bo remembers a time when he was confronted by a robot that inserted something into his body. Coincidentally, one of the drawings represents that scene. Bo explains that because something is implanted in his body, he can be tracked, which is why they were able to find Nadia and are now invading the city. Upon hearing this, Kara wants to eliminate Bo, but he manages to convince them that they will need his help. After that, they gather to devise a plan. Before leaving, Bo is disappointed when he mistakenly confuses a woman for Nadia. They then walk through the streets carrying the electromagnetic pulse weapon. As they near the tunnel exit, a robot launches an attack, injuring Kara, but the men manage to destroy the robot. Bo notices more robots approaching and throws a flare. Roderick gives Kara a grenade, as she is injured and prefers to stay and take down more robots. Outside, people are terrified as they are surrounded by numerous robots. Seeing this, Bo says they need to get those people out of there. Taking advantage of the robot's distraction, Bo moves forward and throws a grenade at one of them, allowing the people to escape. Meanwhile, Roderick moves forward with the weapon, but he is unable to activate it because the battery is damaged. Bo then recalls past moments and manages to extract energy from a robot. Roderick approaches Bo to get the weapon functioning, which leads to the destruction of the robots and the spacecraft. Afterward, scenes from Bo's experiences since he met Nadia are shown. When Bo regains consciousness, Roderick informs him that what he did worked. Then, as he stands up, Bo's memory is restored, and he remembers riding his bike down the street. The scene shifts to show the city in ruins after the battle. If you enjoyed the video, please subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. Also, be sure to check out this video that's appearing on your screen.